Well, Greg, we talked about Vmax and VNX. So now let's talk about data domain. A data domain system is used for backup. You can drop a data domain system into an existing backup environment and target your backup data at the system. And then you can recover from that system just like you would recover from tape. The revolutionary part of the data domain system is this concept of data deduplication. We've drawn a little diagram here and we show a bunch of different servers, and this is, for example, a PowerPoint presentation that's saved in a bunch of different locations. Now, in a traditional backup environment, each copy of this data would be sent to tape traditionally, or even disk, and it would be stored many, many, many times. The data domain system is smart enough to see these files and even pieces of files that are similar. As those strings of data come through, the data domain system says, hey, wait a second, I've seen that before. I don't need to store that again. All I need to do is store a little tiny pointer to the first copy that I saw. So the net result is, instead of storing 50 of these, you store one of them. Now, what's the secret sauce that's involved? Well, the secret sauce is this data deduplication algorithm that happens inline. It's called inline data deduplication. This is happening in real time, and it's leveraging the horsepower of Intel CPUs. This is a really important point that Greg's going to talk more about. Most systems of this type, historically, focused on the disk drive. They focused on disk drives getting larger and larger and the ability to store more and more data. Data domain made a decision early on to follow the Intel performance freight train, to take a look at Moore's law, because they realized that the faster CPUs performed, the faster they could ingest data. You want to talk a little more about that, Greg?
Sure. The data domain systems use our highest performing quad socket and dual socket processors because that data deduplication algorithm is extremely CPU intense. But what this does is keeps data domain at the front end with adopting time-to-market Intel solutions for offer the highest performance ingestion, reducing the number of disks that are required out here, which in turn lower cost and lowers the power of the overall system as well.
Yeah, so if you think about an overall IT infrastructure in a data center, production data, the information that, say, a database is accessing on a regular basis, that's going to live on something like a VNX or a Vmax system. The backups of that data, those will be sent to a data domain system. So they fill different roles in the data center architecture. Data domain goes out and targets markets, especially where people are using tape today. We show them that the ROI associated with using very high-end Intel processors plus disk drives is a lot greater and a lot more attractive than using tape for backups.